Hey, what's going on, fam? Takoya Carlton here, and of course, um, as you can see, it's totally different here. I'm actually in my hotel room here in Richmond, Virginia, for the next few days until Wednesday. So here's the thing, guys. Let me just ask you this right here. When everything goes awry, what's your natural instinct, right? So when things aren't working, when things aren't going your way, what's your natural instinct? Do you flight, right? Or fight. So again, do you run away or do you wallow in what's happening to you as if it's not happening to other people in this world and people are figuring it out? So are you the person who says, you know what, things are going on and it just seems like one thing after the next thing after the next thing just starts to compound on top of you, and then of course you feel like, woe is me, man. Life can't get any worse, right? I don't know why I can't, you know, again, as someone would say that I've met here recently, if I had no bad luck, I have none at all. So the whole thing, we know that's not right because again, there's got to be great things happening in your life because you wouldn't have a job, you wouldn't have a car, you wouldn't have a place to live, right? You wouldn't have food on the table. So again, there's a lot of great things that are happening in your life, but we choose to pick on those things that, again, we feel that are wrong in our life, right? So again, real quick, let me just for the folks who are joining in and looking like, okay, what's going on, guys? I'm actually in my hotel right here, the DoubleTree in Richmond, Virginia. So every about 6 months, for those who don't know, I had a heart transplant last year, May 31st, 2021, right on Memorial Day. So I got the call. I got a heart transplant, guys. And of course, that day I had no clue that that would be the day that I would get the call, right? Been on the list for 2 years, a little over 2 years, waiting for that call. And of course, got that call. And it turned a lot of things upside down right away. And so, again, I could be that person who said, you know, woe is me. I could have been that person who says, you know what, why me? Or I could have been that person who, again, shut down and didn't rise up for the occasion. I could have been that person who quit on myself. But again, that's what I'm asking you. When things happen in your life, what are you doing to overcome them? Are you the person, again, that fights, right, to fix that situation, to solve that situation? Or are you that person who says, you know what, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this, and you stay there. Again, you eventually get out of it because you always do. Let me say that real quick, guys. For those who are going through something right now, always remember, if you've been on this earth for any length of time, you know that things happen, and for some reason, you always end up okay. You always end up out of that situation. It may not have ended the way that you wanted to. It may have been not. It may have not been solved the way that you wanted to, but you found a way. And again, things were just fine. So when things happen to you guys, sometimes, like I said, we make things way bigger than they are. That's just a human experience. And I'm just here to tell you that it always works out. Again, it may not work out the way you want it to, or it may not happen when you want it to, or how you want it to, but it always works out. And you're the better for it. Does that make sense? Because listen, guys, as adults, as people, we learn more by losing than we do by winning. Did you know that? So for those people who are out there struggling at whatever it is that you're doing or what you've been called to do, and you seem like, why is everyone else having success? Why is it happening for them and not happening for me? Again, it's just timing. It's not your time yet. Maybe you need a little bit more bumps to prepare you for what's coming, right? And I know some of y'all saying, man, I've got too many bumps, right? But that's okay. It's just a learning process, and everybody's process isn't the same length of time. So again, be willing to understand that, hey, listen, everything doesn't always last, right? We always find a way out of our situations, but some people think that's it. That's the way it's always going to be at that moment. Think about it. In the last 5 years, there's probably been some detrimental things that's happened in your life, or situations or problems, and you thought that it would never be solved. You would never see the rainbow at the end of the storm, right? But it always worked out. You didn't know how it was going to work out. You didn't think it was going to work out, but it always did. And I need you to understand that, so you're not sitting there fighting battles of the mind that you don't need to, because it's all mental. right? 80% of whatever we're trying to accomplish or do in life is 80% mental. Did you know that? Like most of the times we mess up ourselves because again, we're in our head. That's the problem. We're in our head. We don't understand that, again, we can make a decision any given day to be better, to do better, to have better. It's no secret. Everything that we do is a mental thing. So just like, again, go back to my situation. So last year I got a heart transplant, May 31st, Memorial Day. This year was my 1 year anniversary. So I made it a year. Usually the first year is, very serious, right? Because that's when anything that could happen happens. Fortunate, I made it through the first year, really no issues. So I'm working on my second year, right? Anniversary this year, May, right? 2022. That's my 1 year mark. So I'm already working on that second year now. And of course, I still have to come to a hospital. I still have to get checkups and stuff like that because it's a life situation. It's a lifelong situation. It just doesn't end when you get a transplant, right? You got to take certain medications for the rest of your life because here's what happens, right? The heart, anytime you change any major thing in your body, let's say, heart, lungs, kidneys, right? Well, not lungs, kidneys, right? Anytime you change something major in your body, it knows that it's not supposed to be there. And it's saying, why you here, heart? You're not mine. Right? That's my body screaming at every single day. So inside of me, while you're seeing me smile or motivate or inspire, and inside of my body is fighting against this very heart that's saving my life, that's giving me life, right? It's telling this heart, man, get out of here. You don't supposed to be here. That's a struggle that I go through every single day that, my heart isn't mine and my body knows it and it's fighting every second of the day to get rid of it. Right? That's some serious stuff, right? But because of the way my mind thinks, I never even think about it. Because I understand it's a mental thing. Our life, things that happen to us, things that we go through are all mental. I can either choose to let that mental thing destroy me or put me down or put me in a bad situation, or I can choose to use that mental thing to be the thing that gives me strength to overpower anything else in my life. So I'm asking you, when things happen in your life, what is your first thing you do? Do you take flight, meaning you go and you run and make things better, right? Or you decide to fight and again get through that scenario? Or do you just say, you know what, I just give up? Or this always happened to me. I'm here to tell you to change the way you think and you change the way things are. So again, change the way things you think and you'll change the way things are. So again, guys, I am here in Richmond, Virginia. Tomorrow, I have a minor surgery. Tomorrow, because again, they're doing a left ventricle cath, right? Tomorrow, and so this is the first time they do that. Usually, they do it 1 year after you have had a transplant, but this time because there was so much stuff going on, there was backlog with stuff, COVID stuff happened. So many appointments got pushed back. So here I am, December, just now getting my 1 year when I supposed to have it around May of this year. So again, I've got to go get a minor surgery tomorrow, be under anesthesia, and then of course I got to stay the night in the hospital so they can actually view me over here in Richmond, Virginia, at the VA hospital. So I just want you to understand that people are fighting battles right now that you have no clue. And because I'm always on here to motivate and inspire other people, I don't have time to worry about my problems. Right? I'm trying to do better for other people because I need other people to know that they can be better. So that's the thing, guys. Everything in our life is a mental fight. A mental fight. So again, what is it to you guys? Are you gonna again fight or flight in any situation that happens to you? And guys, here's the thing. I've always said this. There's two things. There's a situation, and then there's a problem. Right? One of my mentors told me early in my career in network marketing, when I was in network marketing, that if it's a problem, then those are things that are out of your control, right? Like, the weather, that's out of our control. So if you're doing a business and you're outside business, well, the weather could be a deterrent for you doing your business, right? Um, but again, if it's in your control, here's what he said. He said, if you can write a stroke a check for it, then it's a situation. Meaning, if it's a financial situation, meaning you can solve that easily. Why? How about making more money, right? Working a little bit harder, working overtime, right? Borrowing some money. I mean, you name it. Those are things that you can fix. But again, a problem is something that is not readily fixable by this. A problem is me needing a heart. That's a problem. That's not a situation. Does that make sense, guys? So situations are things that you can handle on your own. Meaning, hey, listen, I'm late on my car payment. My house is about to be foreclosed. Those are things you can solve by what? Changing the way you think and go to work and make up the difference, right? Look for different ways to solve that situation. Again, a problem is something you can't control. Again, when I got a transplant, guys, I couldn't control that. I needed that. I needed that for life. Y'all understand this? So I want y'all to understand, again, how do you respond when you're going through something? Fight or flight? Fight or flight? What's your decision? If you're going through something right now, what is your decision? Is it fight or flight? So again, guys, I do these every single week, Monday through Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope that you join me because I'm always talking about stuff that applies to regular people, right? Day-to-day type of things, right? I'm not trying to be over someone's head with information, and charts and all that stuff. I want to speak to you, right? That's right, Kate. Fight. That's right, man. So the whole thing is simply this, guys. We've got to get better at taking our situations and understanding that it's a mental thing, right? That's a situation. A problem is something that I can't solve, right? And so if it's a problem, guess what? I can no longer let that be the reason why I don't succeed, because that means it's uncontrollable. It's out of my control. And if it's out of my control, that's an easy thing that I can overcome, right? I just got to understand that it's out of my control. I can't solve that. I got to leave that in the hands of, my savior or whatever it is for you, whatever that is for you that gets you through that thing that you can't solve on your own, right? Because it's past your abilities, past your thinking, past, your bodily ability, right? But if it's something that you can solve by simply stroking a check, that's a situation. There's ways around that. Okay. So again, guys, I appreciate you so much for tuning in again every week, Monday through Thursday, at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm dropping nuggets. I'm talking to you from the heart. Nothing I do is ever scripted. This is just information I've learned over the years that's helped me to move forward, to get through those situations, to understand what's a situation and what's a problem, right? And if it's a problem that that I can't solve on something I can do on my own, then again, I got to put that in someone else's hands, right? Who can maybe help in that. Again, I couldn't do my own surgery. Does that make sense? But someone else could, and I got in the hands. So I got into the VA hospital, right? And the VA hospital took it from there, and they took care of that problem for me because it was out of my hands, out of my control. But situations, guys, I fight with those. I take those head on. Problems that I can't solve, guess what? If I know I can't solve them because it's a real problem, then I got to find ways around it, right? I got to understand what it is and then move on with it, right? So again, guys, I appreciate you. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys at the top, from the top, or over the top. Take care, take charge, and we'll talk to you soon.